Welcome to episode 5 of Upgrading Your American History. This one's about preventative maintenance. As with any device, your American history works best when it's properly maintained. Now, you do that all the time. Every time you visit a museum or historic site, every time you read a quality book or article, every time you immerse yourself in a quality documentary. The most important maintenance comes early and often in schools. The teaching of history in schools has been a perpetual topic of debate and power throughout American history. That is because young people's very understanding of themselves is historical. They learn early on that they are not only parts of families, but of neighborhoods, of communities, of states, and of a nation called the United States of America. Now, that's a lot for kids to wrap their minds around. 330 million people distributed over a vast continent of many kinds of backgrounds over centuries of time. Not surprisingly, all the early stories that kids learn are about what holds that country together, its symbols, its heroes, and its stories. As they progress through school, they learn some of the challenges the country has faced, and it requires great sensitivity and genuine concern for the students to share the full story with them. And they know more than some give them credit for. Students are not surprised to learn that bad things have happened in the past because they know bad things that they see today. Demands that we curtail our students' curiosity and simply command what is essential, what is core, misunderstands the past itself and the ways that we might learn from it. The most damaging political uses of the past come from misplaced claims that the past can be possessed, contained from any one political viewpoint. That's why exploratory history is important from an early age. We need to enable students to look into the American past for themselves because they're going to confront it every day for themselves. We need to teach students how to navigate through too much information rather than analyze one isolated piece of the past. It's not enough to have students inquire about a limited set of documents when we have the whole past available in digital form. The experienced teachers who help us build strategies for using the resources of Bunk and American History offer dozens of strategies to help us do just that. Let me give you a glimpse. So in earlier episodes, we've glimpsed some of the remarkable resources gathered in New American History. You will recall looking at Bunk with its elaborate web of 14,000 excerpts from all kinds of print publications. You've not seen the History News Network, but we hope you'll check it out. It's another project associated with us that presents original writing about American history every week. You may want to listen to Backstory, which is hundreds of episodes and an innovative podcast and NPR show in which we interviewed hundreds of people who interact with American history in many different ways. You might want to watch the PBS series that we created, in which we visit places all across the United States where people are interpreting the American past for all kinds of audiences in really inspiring ways. You have seen there are many more maps in American Panorama that you might want to look at, produced by the Digital Scholarship Lab. You, I hope, been enticed by the glimpse of the Valley of the Shadow, where you can weave your own story of the past through a very rich archive. And you might want to check out American Visions, which is a book I published a couple of years ago, in which we augment with connections into full primary resources, the entire length of Walden or of Moby Dick, including beautiful images and some very powerful 1-minute documentaries that show American history in new ways. And you saw the Maps of Southern Journey, but it's actually a book as well that as an atlas of all migrations in the American South. Now, all of this is dedicated to teaching American history. We claim that this is a new way to teach American history. We can make this claim because we're led by a remarkable Director of Education and Outreach, Annie Evans, who has decades of experience in teaching and collaborating in American history. And she has woven together learning resources with help from teachers all across the United States who are using New American History to deal with subjects that they confront every year, but to try to make it much more engaging and interesting they have. You're able to choose any kind of learning topic that presented here, reading level, grade level, connect to standards that you may need to teach, ways to foster civil discourse, ways to collaborate, ways to foster inquiry and critical thinking. And you'll recognize some of these topics from things that we've seen in earlier episodes of these videos, and each one of them wraps around any given object strategies for teaching and learning. And you can see how many there are. There are many dozens of these who deal with virtually every aspect of American history. And so if you are a teacher of history, we hope that you'll look in here and find something that is important to your particular teaching. Let me show you how Annie uses these learning resources to enrich things. Now, you'll remember the foreign-born population from the last episode of this video series. You'll see that students can listen to this. Annie is very attentive to issues of accessibility to make sure that these are accessible to students of all kinds of backgrounds. And she presents key vocabulary so that students will understand what an immigrant is, what foreign-born means, or what a cartographer might be. She explains about the different ways of understanding the map so that kids will be able to become literate with visually as well as in terms of using words. She shows you how different forms of infographics explain different aspects of data. So these maps are a great way to foster data literacy as well as historical literacy. And it asks fundamental questions. How has the foreign-born population density of the United States changed over time? It shows you how to answer those questions. So we don't merely present these materials to students and tell them to figure it out themselves, even though we do encourage them to explore. But what this provides are guideposts, ways for students to understand how it is, the different forms of information that they're going to confront in their own lives. So New American History presents American history with as many different lenses as we can conceive, as that we can build. And the whole idea is that history comes to us in many shapes and forms. And what we really need to do is enable students to be able to understand each of those. As we have seen, the teaching of American history is exciting and challenging because our range of vision continues to broaden, because our collective knowledge deepens. We teach history in new ways because there's more to learn about more subjects, because exciting prospects open when we include as many people as we can in our stories about the past. Thanks to the proliferation of archives and interpretation in digital formats, we know far more about the past than any generation before us. The past, rather than receding, is ever more present in our lives, ever more active and powerful. That means that we need continuity to upgrade our understanding of that history. We will keep building New American History and Bunk to help with that work.